Mitzi Gaynor's name is forever etched in Hollywood history, particularly for her iconic role in the 1958 film South Pacific, where her electrifying performance of Honey Bun made her a star. Her infectious energy, grace, and remarkable dance moves captured audiences' hearts and established her as one of the most talented performers of her time. However, the road to that legendary role was filled with challenges, including dangerous working conditions, unexpected setbacks, and untold behind-the-scenes drama. At 92, Gaynor is finally sharing the untold stories of South Pacific, including the drama with Elizabeth Taylor and obstacles that nearly derailed the film, adding even more depth to her legendary status. Early life, the seeds of stardom. Gaynor's childhood was shaped by the tumult of the Great Depression, which caused her family to move frequently. They first settled in Elgin, Illinois, before moving to Detroit, and eventually to Los Angeles. The move to Los Angeles was pivotal, as the city was the heart of the entertainment industry. At just 11 years old, Gaynor found herself in the city of stars, and it became clear that this was the place where her dreams could become reality. Hollywood, with its grand allure and promise of fame, was where she belonged. While many children in Los Angeles dreamt of becoming actors or performers, Gaynor was serious about her ambition. She began ballet training at the age of 11, not as a casual hobby, but with the intention of making it her career. Her dedication to her craft was evident from the very start. By the age of 13, she was already performing professionally, lying about her age to secure a part in Song Without Words with the Los Angeles Civic Light Opera Company. This early success was just the beginning of her meteoric rise in the entertainment world. Soon after, Gaynor performed in other productions like Roberta the Fortune Teller and Naughty Marietta, which taught her invaluable lessons in stage presence, confidence, and the fine art of blending singing and dancing. These formative experiences were crucial in shaping the performer she would become, one who could captivate an audience and deliver memorable performances with ease. Overcoming early setbacks, a lesson in resilience. Her first taste of the stage was far from graceful. At just 7 years old, Gaynor was performing at a dance recital when an embarrassing incident occurred. Despite rehearsing every move, she forgot one crucial thing. She hadn't used the bathroom before the performance. Mid-routine, under the glaring lights of the stage, disaster struck. But rather than retreating from the embarrassment, Gaynor showed resilience. She wiped away her tears, donned a layer of lipstick, and returned to the stage. The audience, recognizing her bravery, cheered her on. That moment taught Gaynor an important lesson that she would carry throughout her career. Mistakes don't matter as much as how you handle them. At the age of 9, Gaynor watched Carmen Miranda perform on stage, and the experience had a profound impact on her. The music, the colors, the energy, it was larger than life, and it ignited a spark in her. She realized that she didn't just want to perform, she wanted to be the star, the one who would mesmerize audiences with her energy and charisma. That night, her ambition crystallized, and she was determined to become a performer who commanded attention on stage. Hollywood beckons. A new name for a new star. By the time Gaynor was 13, she had already begun performing with the Los Angeles Civic Light Opera Company, and her talent didn't go unnoticed. It wasn't long before she caught the eye of a talent scout from 20th Century Fox, which was looking for fresh faces to sign in Hollywood. At the age of 17, she signed a 7-year contract with the studio, embarking on a new chapter of her life that would thrust her into the heart of Hollywood's golden age. However, the studio wasn't convinced that her birth name, Francesca Marlene Deschaney von Gerber, was suitable for the big screen. The long, complicated name wasn't catchy or glamorous enough for a Hollywood star. The studio wanted something simpler, something that would stick in the minds of moviegoers. After some deliberation, they decided on Mitzi Gaynor, a name that was easy to remember and still had a touch of Hollywood glamour. The name Mitzi was one she had used informally, and Gaynor was chosen to evoke the name of silent film star Janet Gaynor, a name that was both familiar and glamorous. With that, Mitzi Gaynor was born, and her name would soon be gracing the marquees of movie theaters across the country. Early film career, rising through the ranks. Gaynor's first film role came in 1950 with By Blue Heaven, a musical starring Betty Grable and Dan Daly. She played a dancer in a small part, but it was her presence that made her stand out. Gaynor's confidence and natural charisma were evident from the moment she stepped onto the screen. Even in a minor role, she had the ability to capture the audience's attention and leave a lasting impression. Her performance caught the eye of the studio, and they began to see her potential as a leading lady. By the time she was 19, Gaynor had transitioned from supporting roles to starring parts, a rare feat in an industry that often relied on established stars. Her first major starring role came in 1951's Golden Girl, in which she portrayed Lotta Crabtree, a real-life performer from the Gold Rush era. The film was a mix of comedy, drama, and elaborate musical numbers, with the song Never even earning an Academy Award nomination. Critics praised Gaynor's energy, and audiences loved her for her charm and vibrant presence. It was clear that she was a star on the rise. With Golden Girl's success, Fox pushed Gaynor into more starring roles. In 1952, she starred in Bloodhounds of Broadway, where she played Emily Ann Stackerly, a character full of humor and heart. The film allowed Gaynor to show off her comedic skills and deliver memorable musical numbers. That same year, she took on a bold role in The I Don't Care Girl, where she portrayed Ava Tangle, a vaudeville star known for her wild performances. The film was a commercial success, grossing $1.25 million at the box office, which is equivalent to more than $13 million today. Gaynor's undeniable talent and versatility were quickly becoming apparent. Whether she was performing in comedic roles or delivering powerful musical numbers, she had a way of making everything feel effortless. Her presence on screen was magnetic, and it wasn't long before she was being compared to the biggest stars of Hollywood's golden age, including Marilyn Monroe. Gaynor in the spotlight. Iconic performances. One of Gaynor's most iconic roles came in 1954 with There's No Business Like Show Business, a musical packed with legends like Marilyn Monroe, Ethel Merman, and Donald O'Connor. The film was Fox's first musical shot in CinemaScope and Deluxe color, a visual spectacle that showcased the studio's biggest stars. Gaynor played Katie Donahue, part of a vaudeville family, and she shone in the role. Her performance in the number A, Sailor's Not a Sailor. Till a Sailor's Been Tattooed, alongside Ethel Merman, was a highlight of the film. It was energetic, fun, and full of personality. Critics often compared Gaynor to Monroe, who had a sultry charm that captivated audiences. But Gaynor's energy was different, brighter, warmer, and more engaging. While Monroe had a more seductive allure, Gaynor's energy was contagious. She didn't just dance, she told a story with every movement, drawing the audience into her world. Despite the challenges behind the scenes, including Monroe's notorious tardiness on set, Gaynor later admitted that Monroe worked tirelessly to perfect every scene. The film was a commercial success, grossing $5 million at the box office, and it solidified Gaynor's place as one of Hollywood's brightest stars. Later years and diversification. New Horizons in the late 1950s Gaynor made the bold decision to leave 20th Century Fox, opening new doors in Hollywood. In 1957, she starred in two major films at Paramount Pictures, each showcasing a different side of her talent. In The Joker is Wild, she played Martha Stewart, the love interest of Frank Sinatra's character. The film told the true story of Joe E. Lewis, a nightclub comedian whose life was marked by tragedy. Gaynor's chemistry with Sinatra was palpable, adding warmth to the film's more emotional moments. The soundtrack, which included the Oscar-winning song All the Way, added to the film's lasting impact. That same year, Gaynor took on a lighter role in Less Girls, Gene Kelly's final MGM musical. The film followed three dancers telling their versions of past events in a legal dispute. Gaynor played Joy Henderson, and her performance was a mix of comedy and dance, with one of the standout moments being a playful number with Gene Kelly. Gaynor's ability to keep up with Kelly's sharp choreography showed her versatility and sharp timing. Elizabeth Taylor, a dazzling star but a misfit for Nellie. One of the first actresses to be considered for the part of Nellie Forbush was Elizabeth Taylor, a bona fide screen legend known for her stunning beauty and commanding presence. Taylor was one of the most famous actresses of the era, celebrated for her roles in films like Cleopatra and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. However, Taylor was far from a dancer or singer. Though her acting abilities were well established, the physical demands of playing Nellie Forbush, who required both vocal strength and the ability to dance, were outside Taylor's wheelhouse. Taylor, undeterred, auditioned for the role, despite her lack of formal training in musical theater. But nerves overcame her. She struggled with the singing and dancing aspects of the role, and the legendary Richard Rodgers, who had a hand in every production of South Pacific, rejected her outright. Despite her immense star power, Elizabeth Taylor's lack of a singing and dancing background made her a poor fit for the role of Nellie, and the role was soon up for grabs again. Richard Rodgers doubts, a perfectionist with high standards. Even after Mitzi Gaynor was cast as Nellie, Richard Rodgers, who was known for his meticulous attention to detail and high standards, was still not fully convinced. He had heard Gaynor's voice and seen her dance, but he wasn't sure that her voice was strong enough to handle the demands of the role. Rodgers had worked with Broadway's top talents, and his rigorous expectations for South Pacific were unparalleled. He needed a performer who could handle both the vocal and emotional depth of the character. And, at first, he wasn't sure Gaynor had the vocal chops. However, Mitzi Gaynor was undeterred. She worked tirelessly, rehearsing for hours with director Joshua Logan and vocal coaches. She dedicated herself to perfecting the music and understanding Nellie's character. As the rehearsals progressed, Gaynor's vocal abilities impressed even Rodgers. When Gaynor performed "I'm Gonna Wash That Man Right Out of My Hair," a pivotal number in the musical, Rodgers saw the spark he had been looking for. She wasn't just singing the notes. She was bringing Nellie to life with her energy, charm, and natural authenticity. Filming in Kauai, challenges and triumphs. Filming for South Pacific began in 1957 on the lush and beautiful island of Kauai, Hawaii. The setting seemed like a dream. Golden beaches, clear waters, and lush mountains provided the perfect backdrop for the musical's tropical paradise. However, the production was anything but smooth sailing. Kauai, one of the wettest places on Earth, turned out to be a logistical nightmare for the film crew. One of the biggest challenges was the unpredictable weather. The production had to contend with sudden rainstorms that would halt filming, leaving the cast and crew scrambling to stay on schedule. The lighting, too, became an issue, as the sun would shift dramatically between takes, causing noticeable inconsistencies in some of the scenes. The weather delays alone were costly, but then, On March 9, 1957, the crew was confronted with an even bigger issue. A massive tsunami struck Kauai's north shore. Homes were destroyed, bridges were washed away, and access to filming locations was cut off. Trucks carrying vital equipment were stranded, and the production had to shut down completely for a period of time. For the filmmakers, this natural disaster seemed like the final blow in what had already been a challenging production. Filmmaking challenges, color filters, and dance sequences. Filming South Pacific was a monumental task, but director Joshua Logan had his own unique artistic vision for the film. One of his most controversial decisions was the use of color filters during certain musical sequences. Logan wanted to replicate the dramatic lighting that had been used in the stage version of South Pacific. But instead of traditional lighting methods, he opted to place bold color filters directly on the camera lenses. These filters bathed the scenes in deep colors, magenta for Bali High and golden hues for Some Enchanted Evening. This technique, while visually striking, divided audiences and critics. Some viewers found the filters distracting and overwhelming, while others thought they added a dreamlike quality to the scenes. Rogers and Hammerstein themselves were critical of the decision, feeling that the filters detracted from the music. Despite the controversy, Logan defended his choice, saying that the filters helped mask the often overcast skies of Kauai, maintaining visual consistency throughout the film. Whether loved or hated, the filters became one of the film's signature stylistic choices. For Mitzi Gaynor, the filming process presented additional challenges. As a dancer, she was used to performing elaborate routines, but playing Nellie Forbush meant focusing more on singing and acting, with only a few dance sequences. The choreography for South Pacific leaned more toward group numbers, leaving Gaynor with less room to showcase her individual dance talent. In addition, filming on Kauai's uneven terrain, particularly Lumahai Beach, made even simple dance movements difficult. The success of South Pacific and Gaynor's last major film role. When South Pacific finally premiered in 1958, it was a massive success. The film grossed over $36 million worldwide and became one of the top-grossing films of the year. Gaynor's performance as Nellie Forbush was met with critical acclaim, and she was even nominated for a Golden Globe. She had proven herself not only as a dancer, but as a capable and charismatic leading lady in a genre dominated by big stars. However, despite the film's success, South Pacific would ultimately mark the peak of Gaynor's film career. After the movie's release, she starred in only 3 more films, none of them musicals. As the 1960s approached, Gaynor turned her attention to television, where she found new opportunities to showcase her talent. She became a regular on variety shows, entertaining audiences with her singing, dancing, and comedic timing. Mitzi Gaynor's performance in South Pacific was a turning point in her career, but it also signified the end of an era for the actress, who would go on to explore new mediums in the entertainment world. Despite the challenges she faced throughout the production of South Pacific, Gaynor's performance remains one of the most beloved in musical film history, cementing her place as a true Hollywood icon. Las Vegas, Gaynor's reign on the stage. By the late 1960s, Mitzi Gaynor had made a successful transition to live performances, becoming one of the top entertainers in Las Vegas. Her nightclub acts at legendary venues like the Flamingo and the Riviera captivated audiences night after night, earning her a staggering $45,000 per week, a sum that was nearly unheard of at the time. This success marked a dramatic shift in her career, allowing her to showcase her talents in an entirely new way. Gaynor's Las Vegas performances were nothing short of spectacular. Working closely with the legendary costume designer Bob Mackie, who would become synonymous with her image, Gaynor's shows were a dazzling visual experience. Mackie designed hundreds of stunning costumes for her over the years, and his creations became integral to her performances. His designs were always bold, colorful, and extravagant, often featuring intricate beadwork and sequins that sparkled under the stage lights. The costumes were not just visually stunning. They were crafted to move with her, amplifying her graceful dancing and adding an extra layer of glamour to every performance. Critics quickly took notice, calling Gaynor's shows flawless and devastating, with Life magazine famously stating that Gaynor had started at the top and climbed even higher. In 1970, she achieved another milestone in her career when she became the first woman to win the prestigious Las Vegas Governor's Trophy for Star Entertainer of the Year. By this point, Gaynor had fully conquered film, television, and the biggest live stage in America, proving that her star power extended far beyond the silver screen. The Emmy-nominated television specials. In the 1960s and 1970s, Mitzi Gaynor became a household name not just through her performances on stage, but also through her television specials. These shows solidified her place in the pantheon of great American entertainers and demonstrated that she was much more than just a movie star. Over the course of 9 specials, Gaynor earned an impressive 16 Emmy nominations, a testament to her exceptional skill in front of the camera. 2 of Gaynor's television specials stood out as cultural landmarks. Ms. A Tribute to the American Housewife, 1974, was a light-hearted and playful take on domestic life, with Gaynor using humor, song, and elaborate musical numbers to celebrate the role of women in the home. The special was both a tribute and a satire, and it captivated audiences with its clever writing and Gaynor's magnetic performance. Another standout special was Ms. What's Hot and What's Not, 1978, a fun exploration of changing trends in America, with music and dance highlighting the cultural shifts of the time. These specials were not just entertainment. They reflected the broader cultural climate and provided an outlet for Gaynor's creativity. A key factor in the success of these shows was her collaboration with Bob Mackie, whose costumes added an extra layer of artistry to the performances. Mackie's eye-catching designs were not simply costumes, they were integral to the storytelling, becoming part of the performance itself. Returning to the stage, the national tour of Anything Goes. Despite her success in television and Las Vegas, Gaynor never lost her love for live theater. In 1989, at nearly 60 years old, she made an unforgettable return to the stage when she joined a national tour of Anything Goes, taking on the lead role of Reno Sweeney. This was no small feat. Anything Goes is a demanding musical, and the role of Reno requires a performer who can deliver high-energy performances night after night. Critics and audiences alike were skeptical about whether Gaynor, who had not been on stage in a while, could still handle the rigorous demands of a full-scale musical. But Gaynor proved them wrong. Her energy and charisma remained as strong as ever, and every performance was a testament to her enduring talent. The tour opened at the Orange County Performing Arts Center in September 1989, before traveling to major cities across North America, including Seattle, Toronto, and Nashville. Audiences were captivated by her presence, and every night she was met with standing ovations. Gaynor's ability to still command the stage in her late 50s and early 60s was a testament to her exceptional talent and the depth of her star power. Her performance as Reno Sweeney reminded everyone that real talent never fades, and that Gaynor was as vibrant and captivating as ever. A full-circle moment, returning to Kauai. One of the most emotional moments of Gaynor's later career came in 2009, when she returned to Kauai, Hawaii, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of South Pacific. The film, which had been shot on the lush island, was a defining moment in her career, and returning to the location where it all began brought back a flood of memories. For Gaynor, Kauai was more than just a filming location. It had become part of her personal story. She hadn't been back to Kauai since filming Wrapped in 1958, and the trip was initially a daunting one for her. She feared that revisiting the island might be too overwhelming, but once she arrived, the memories flowed with a sense of gratitude rather than nostalgia. The island looked much the same, with its lush landscapes and stunning beaches, and the local fans welcomed her with open arms. Kauai had been the backdrop for some of South Pacific's most iconic scenes, including the memorable "I'm Gonna Wash That Man Right Out of My Hair" sequence filmed at Lumaha Beach. The island's rugged beauty had served as the perfect setting for the romantic and dramatic elements of the film. Gaynor's visit to Kauai allowed her to reflect on the film's significance, not only in her career, but also in her life. Marriage and career partnership with Jack Bean Mitzi. Gaynor married Jack Bean on November 18, 1954, in San Francisco. Their union was not just a personal one, but a professional partnership that would prove to be instrumental in Gaynor's career. Bean, who had worked in public relations, left his job at the prestigious firm McCann Erickson to start his own company, Bean and Rose Public Relations. His first and most important client? His wife, Mitzi Gaynor. Jack Bean saw something in Gaynor that Hollywood had yet to fully embrace. He recognized her potential as more than just a film star and believed she could succeed in live performances and television. With his guidance, Gaynor shifted away from film and started focusing on stage performances and television specials. Their partnership proved incredibly successful. By the mid-1960s, Gaynor was touring internationally, performing in musical revues that would become huge hits. Their life together was a far cry from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. They preferred a quieter existence, opting for a home in Beverly Hills where they could entertain close friends instead of the Hollywood elite. Their marriage lasted more than 5 decades, built on mutual respect, love, and unwavering support. Bean's belief in Gaynor never wavered, and their relationship was a rare balance between personal and professional lives. Despite the demands of her career, Gaynor never regretted not having children. Instead, she found fulfillment in her career and her deep connection with Bean, who she once described as her champion. Their partnership was the foundation that allowed Gaynor to thrive long after the golden age of Hollywood had passed.